lead me up to the point of you deciding that real estate is going to be your career choice. Did you have other careers before this, or did you just jump right into real estate?
I wouldn't say I had other careers before real estate. I definitely worked my you know what off. I mean, I was working 2, 3, sometimes 4 jobs at a time. Obviously, 3 out of those 4 were part-time, one of
Sure.
them being full-time, but I really just hit the streets and started working in customer service, specifically, in retail and hospitality. So, for instance, I worked front desk at the Renaissance Hotel downtown Columbus. I've worked in a number of shocking, spa and salons at the front desk. So, really customer interaction. And then I was a manager at a retail store in the Worthington Mall for a couple years. And all of those experiences, I did not realize at the time, but were training. It was basically like I was training for where I am now.
Yeah.
And I will say throughout my 20s, oh my God, I I do not want to go back. I do not want to go back. I know some people might have a different experience, and that's great. But my 20s, my God. So I'm now 31, so I'm just fresh into my 30s. But it's I was just working, and I kind of was blindly aiming at a career.
Mhm.
And I didn't know what I was doing, where I was going. I was working, 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 but okay, what am I working for? Where am I heading? I need a career. So um, then an opportunity fell in my lap when I think I was 26 or 27. I had quit my job because I had gone to sound engineering school for 5 weeks. It's a 5 week program at a school called the Recording Workshop in Chillicothe. And because I am into music, I thought, oh,
Right.
that might be interesting to entertain. So I went. My older brother had gone because my older brother um, and I had written music together. He was more of a producer, so I thought, oh, I'll try that. And I did. I met some really great people, but it just didn't stick. So I got back and I didn't have a job. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I need to figure it out. Well, I ran into somebody that who I knew I had met before, and she presented an opportunity to get me connected with somebody in the industry of my interest. And so one thing led to another, and I ended up landing a job for as an assistant for a top producing agent in the Granville area. And so
Nice.
I worked for that top producer for about, I think, 2.5 years in the buyer's department, answering lead calls and following up with leads, and obviously corresponding with active clients who are either searching or in contract or getting ready to close. I also worked in the listing department, processing the files and creating the timelines for this agent to send to the lucky buyers or sellers. And also, I did a lot of marketing. So I created the ads for this particular agent who I still am close with and admire very much. And after that 2.5 years was up, I decided I needed to make a decision what I'm going to do, because with that particular agent and their approach to their business, they are the realtor and
Sure.
everybody else in the office is the assistant. And
Sure.
I was ready to be the realtor too. So I chose to take a different direction. Um, and I actually joined a top producing team in the New Albany area for a bit, working as a buyer's agent for a lead agent on that team. And I absorbed quite a bit of experience in my 7, 8 months that I was with them. And so these are the examples that I'm referencing,
Yeah.
I guess,
Yeah.
talking about them. I start out with somebody I would like to consider a legend, my idol in the
You can
industry, for
you
sure.
can you can shout them out if you
You
want.
can Patty Urbatus with
Yeah.
Berkshire Hathaway.
Yeah.
Patty Urbatus. She taught me a lot about branding
Mm,
and about having a brand and also the reality of the industry and life in general. So I'll
let me
always be grateful to
yeah, let
her.
me ask you about the branding question because, I think some agents struggle with that. What's something that you took away from Patty?
Not to give a rip about anybody else and what they think, and to really just be who you are.
Mm,
Just be who you are. Some people
yeah,
might not like it. Some people will love it. Some people will learn to love it. Some people will be inspired. And so like I dress the way that I want to dress. I speak the way that I want to speak. I advertise my marketing. I create my marketing. So I am the owner of my brand fully. And your brand isn't just your business. Your brand is who you are as a human being on this earth. We are all entrepreneurs, in my opinion, because we're all trying to get somewhere.
yeah,
Some of us have, you know, better characteristics or traits, or just have more of a knack at it than others. But we really are all a walking brand, especially in this day and age. So you have to really be fully who you are. And that it took me, I'm still, I don't think fully exactly who I am because I'm still growing,
right,
and I don't know it all. Nobody knows it all.
right,
And I can tell you, I am a lot more confident now than I ever was in my 20s, let alone in my teens, for God's sake, And gaining that confidence is what allowed me to really just be okay with what I like and who I am and how I approach my business and how I interact with people. So that I would say I learned that by example. Wasn't necessarily like, let's sit down and learn about this. It's
yeah,
just I listened and watched. And so I feel really privileged and lucky that I was able to work with somebody like Patty Urbatus or with this team in New Albany because regardless of differences or of taking a different direction, you can always learn from everybody, and I'm still learning that too because sometimes I get stubborn. But you can always learn from everybody, and you should always appreciate, even if there is like I said, a difference in understanding, or if you really just don't like somebody that much, you should still give them the credence that they deserve if they've taught you something. And
yeah,
so and that's, I guess, some advice I'll give to anybody looking to get into the industry. Make nice with as many people as you can, but again, don't lay down and take it either. So, and that's kind of what I've experienced is I have a number of really great colleagues, cooperating agents who I've worked with, who I've just built good relationships with, who I admire. Um, Other agents out of offices I've worked who I just really know I can lean on, even still in different brokerages. I can call them up with a specific question. Not that I wouldn't call my manager or my broker, but if this is, if they're not available, or if I need a quick answer, I can reach out to them and they will answer. And so you also need to learn to reciprocate that when you are at a point that you can provide inspiration or knowledge to somebody else who's looking for an answer.
yeah. You know what?